Time is dwindling down for the Falmouth Commodores to make a playoff push. Game number 36 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season brings us right back to Gov Fuller Field. They'll take on the Hyannis Harborhawks, and we're here opening the door. Ben Haller alongside Ryan Martin and Andrew Della Piana. Ryan, it was a sixth straight loss for Falmouth last night. Had a chance until that bottom of the eighth inning didn't help.
Yeah, that was a one-run game until the Whitey Red Sox got their ups in the bottom of the eighth. All of a sudden, a 4-3 game because of a bottom of the eighth in which the Red Sox scored.
Not only the Commodores have seen him this year, it also feels like the whole league has seen him at some point. Only the Commodores have seen him this year. It also feels like the whole league has seen him at some point.
Yeah, this will be his sixth start. This will be his sixth start on Cape Cod. That is a whole lot. He'll make his ninth appearance overall as well. Second time going around, like you talked about, we're Falmouth. We allowed 4 earned runs in 4 innings. So the Commodores got to him a little bit, but I think the interesting part that we've talked about a couple times this season is in summer ball, you don't get to see a same starter twice. It's usually a guy that's here a little bit earlier, leaves a little bit later, but to now see that arm 3-4 times through the order might make things a little bit easier offensively.
5 hours after today, and everyone's circling that game on the calendar on Sunday. Last one at home against Cotuit, but Cotuit picked up that tie yesterday against Hyannis, now 4 points ahead of Falmouth.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, the playoff graphic is back. It looks a little something like this. You're chasing the Cotuit Cavaliers, as you mentioned, Ben, right now in the 4th spot. Falmouth, 4 points back. That's exactly 2 games to make up. You hope that it's made up before.
Hi, I'm Michael Kasparian, President of the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is here for the benefit of the whole community. Whether you're a local business or a visitor, Falmouth has endless offerings, from its beautiful beaches and historical...
Appreciate you taking the time. Today, yesterday for you, despite the loss, you had your first 2 base hits. You told us off air earlier. Despite the loss, you had your first 2 base hits. You told us off air earlier. It's the hardest hits to get the first ones. How did you feel yesterday getting those?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's just in the moment, being able to help the team get the spark going a little bit.
Thanks so much, Ryan. Chugging along here on Opening the Door, and I'm here with Ohio State and Falmouth catcher Mason Eckelman. Mason, really appreciate you taking the time. Today, yesterday for you, despite the loss, you had your first 2 base hits. You told us off air earlier. It's the hardest hits to get the first ones. How did you feel yesterday getting those?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's just in the moment, being able to help the team get the spark going a little bit.
Sorry about the technical difficulties with Ben's conversation there with Mason Eckelman. We'll figure that out, and everything else here at Gov Fuller Field will step aside just pregame before Hyannis and Falmouth.
Now Jim's Clam Shack. Located on scenic Falmouth Harbor, Jim's Clam Shack.
You'll always be safe at home with the Diana Lucevero Group at Compass Real Estate. Be safe at home with the Diana Lucevero Group at
Just moments away from this sunny, bright day at Gov Fuller Field just off of Main Street in Falmouth, being occupied by the Hyannis Harborhawks and the Falmouth Commodores for Game 36 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. Those 32 points put them in 3rd place in the West Division, 6 back of the leading Wareham Gatemen. And you mentioned it, Hyannis has the chance to be the only of the 4 West Division opponents to sweep Falmouth this year if they can win this 5th game. So in terms of trying to do a tiebreaker at that 4 spot, you'd rather have Cotuit be at the 4 spot where they are right now versus a situation where Cotuit hops Hyannis. Be at the 4 spot where they are right now versus a situation where Cotuit hops Hyannis and then Hyannis is in at 4 because they would obviously take the head-to-head with Falmouth.
Absolutely, and of course it goes where point
closed nearly 50 transactions and delivered over 20 sales volume, earning them top rankings across Massachusetts. Backed by the industry-leading Keller Williams brand and a strong legacy of local expertise, the group blends market knowledge, client-first service, and sharp negotiation skills to consistently deliver outstanding results. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, the Drew and Levinson Group is your trusted partner for real estate success on the Cape and beyond. Let's give them a warm welcome. And now it's time to meet tonight's the shortstop from North Carolina, number 14, Jake Schaffner. Batting third, the second baseman from Duke, number 12, Jeff Lugge. Batting fourth, the designated hitter from Michigan State, number 5, Ryan McKay. Batting fifth, the first baseman from UC San Diego, number 10, Gabe Camacho. Batting sixth, the left fielder from Stanford, number 17, Charlie Bates. Batting seventh, the third baseman from Oklahoma, number 21, Miles Davis. Batting eighth, the catcher from Arizona State, number 32, Brody Briggs. And batting ninth, the right fielder from North Carolina, number 34, Sawyer Black. The pitcher this evening for the Harbor Hawks, a right-handed pitcher from Nebraska, number 55, Carson Yassa. Batting fourth, the catcher from Texas A&M, number 27, Bear Harrison. Bear Harrison. Batting fifth, the left fielder from the University of Alabama, number 7, Justin Osterhaus. Batting sixth, the shortstop from the University of Southern California, number 18, Adrian Lopez. Batting seventh, the second baseman from Rhode Island, number 6, Reese Maroney. Batting seventh, the second baseman from Rhode Island, number 6, Reese Maroney. Batting eighth, the right fielder from Oklahoma, number 24, Caden Brumba. And batting ninth, the third baseman from the University of Tennessee, number 26, Chris Newstrom. The pitcher this evening for your Commodores, a right-handed pitcher from FIU, number 17, Jeremy Urena. Close to her heart, Virginia. Batting eighth, the right fielder from for your Commodores, a right-handed pitcher from FIU, number 17, Jeremy Urena. Close to her heart, Virginia's grandpa was a minor league pitcher for the Rochester Roosters. Virginia, whenever you're ready.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red gleam, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Virginia Apple. And now it's time for tonight's ceremonial first pitch. Throwing out tonight's first pitch is Stevie Focios. Stevie is a rising 7th grader at Day Middle School in Newton, Massachusetts.
They only won 3 of the first 12 games of the month of July, really starting to find their footing in the back out for this team, and a lot of good players that have stayed for a majority of the season. You look at a guy in the middle of the lineup like Ryan McKay, as well as Jeff Luigi in that 3 spot as well, where there's plenty of talented bats for the Harborhawks that have been here for the rest of 2025.
You just happened to mention the 2 West Division All-Stars in that lineup. It's Luigi and McKay batting 3rd and 4th respectively. 2 guys have been doing it all season long under second-year Hyannis manager Mitch Carricker. It's a good Hyannis team. They got that average all the way up to 246 as a team. That's 4th best on Cape Cod. And they're facing off today against Jeremy Urinia, making his 3rd appearance and 3rd start for the Commodores. The rising senior makes the move to FIU after 3 seasons at Rhode Island.
He wasn't phenomenal in his 2nd start. His first one is a lot better. He only allowed 1 run in 4 innings in that Cape League debut, but that last time out on Thursday, very accurate, 31 strikes on 48 pitches. 5 runs allowed, Ryan, one of those being earned, though. There was a lot of defensive miscues for the Commodores in that loss on Thursday to Bourne, but he's someone who pumps the zone, throws a lot of...
Which means, like here, Johnson, Rhode Island not too far away, where it's been a hot one on Cape Cod and a hot one here in Falmouth, Massachusetts. How about that? A real feel in the lineup today for Mitch Carricker. Starts with the VMI center fielder, Prince. Prince, a rising senior at VMI. He's a local product as well for the cadets from Roanoke, Virginia. Now making his 11th appearance on Cape Cod. He's got a 222 average. 2 just inside. Called first ball.
And the best way to describe Owen Prince as a hitter is he is lightning in a bottle. A very quick guy out of this one spot. Playing in the back end, a group of 5
games on the road for the Commodores since they were last here at Gov Fuller Field on Saturday. An 8-1 loss at Orleans, followed up by a 10-3 loss yesterday at YD. So with Prince retired, here's Jake Schaffner, the incoming UNC Tar Heel after 2 seasons at North Dakota. Grounds went over to Schmidt. He'll wave off Urinia, take it to the first base bag himself for out number 2.
A very high chopper. Nice athletic play by Kent Schmidt to climb the ladder just a little bit.
Luigi, center field. Brumbaugh comes from his spot in right field. He'll dive, but unable to make the catch. Morales takes it on a hop, and Luigi, stand-up 2-out double, continues the top of the 1st inning. A runner in scoring position for Ryan McKay.
And he really continues to impress. He only played in 8 games this spring for the Blue Devils, but on Cape Cod, he's been phenomenal, batting over 300. That is his 6th double, 8th extra base hit, and he put a real charge into that one where Brumbaugh kind of took more so a direct angle to the baseball in right center field when it was more so over his head.
Some early action on the base pass for Jeremy Urinia. You mentioned the former Rhode Island Ram, now heading to FIU. Only a 1.8 ERA so far through 2 appearances. Here's yet again another lefty. It's Michigan State's Ryan McKay who takes a called strike 1 for the right-hander, and we're scoreless through half an inning. We'll be right back at the bottom of the first on Cape League TV.
Hi, my name is Matt Burgess, General Manager here at Falmouth Country Club. We have a unique 27-hole public golf course with a beautiful layout that is family-oriented. Kids play free here at Falmouth Country Club. Getting on the course is quick and easy with our app. You can book tee times, get yardages with GPS, use our interactive scorecard, track your stats, and receive exclusive in-app offers. Falmouth Country Club is a true Cape Cod classic and a local family favorite.
See you on the course.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following league partners for their continued support: Kinlan Grover Compass, Massachusetts State Lottery, Milton Cat, OT Sports, Quincy College, Reader's Hardware Supply, Southern Recognition, T-Mobile, Velo Sports, and of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
I'm Antonio Morales from Norfolk, Massachusetts, and I'd love to get a shout out to my mom, my dad, my sister, and all my supporters.
Nice little shout out there from Antonio Morales, who bats second in the bottom of the first inning here, where we're still scoreless between Hyannis and Falmouth. You take a look at Morales and the other 8 Commodores that will make the lineup today for Jared Saltalamacchia.
Yeah, back-to-back days with Mike Anu and that leadoff spot. Just the 4th time he's done that this season. Had a couple appearances in that leadoff spot earlier in the campaign, but really the message is simple, it seems like, from Saltalamacchia. You want to put the guy with the most power, the most average. You want to put the guy with the most power, the most average, up first in the order.
It makes sense.
Up first in the order.
It makes sense. One of the leading Cape League MVP frontrunners, and how about for the other dugout? It's Mitch Cheriker saying
that too in the pregame show, where in summer ball you don't get a lot of chances to face a starter twice, especially in one summer where it's most so a reverse.
Well, the struggles have been there, but still leading the league with 7 homers and second with 21 runs batted in.
And that's the big thing that'll jump off the page when you see Mike Anu for the first time, is that power. But the way he's been hitting for average for the last month or so, the numbers have been down. But to add that extra element of his game has been fairly impressive.
Anu was draft eligible, declared for the draft, did not get picked, and averaged just under the Mendoza line, trying to find his footing back, but has those early numbers to rely on in terms of postseason accolade. 293. Payoff again. It runs outside. Full count walk for the leadoff man, Mike Anu. So we haven't seen a ball in play yet for this Hyannis defense, but this is what the Harbor Hawks send out today in Game 36.
The big guy I'm looking is in the middle of that infield, and Jake Schaffner, who Mitch Carricker called one of the best defensive players he has ever seen. And he has put up some impressive numbers this past season with just the one error on his name. Really surprised he was not named to the All-Star game.
But you know who was? It was Hyannis' other starting shortstop.
Contact hitting.
He's shown that. This was grounded over to the shortstop in Schaffner. Goes over to second for 1, to first for a double play. It's not what the Commodores needed. Mike Anu's off the base paths. Antonio Morales will join him in the dugout as Ken Schmidt looks to continue this first inning.
Just unfortunate for Morales to put that in the hole. Schaffner was cheating a little bit towards second base because Morales has been a guy that has been spraying the ball all over the field in the last couple of games. So you see that middle infield very tight there, protecting that double play, and that ball just hit right in Schaffner's direction.
And there was Mike Anu, had a good jump off of first base. He's 7th on Cape Cod with 14 stolen bases. You wonder if he takes off. Maybe that's just a fielder's choice. But that's all hindsight. First pitch, a called strike to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket and Ken Schmidt. Hard to believe Schmidt at 6 foot 225, just a rising sophomore. It's been good so far, and as of recently, too, with a 284 average.
I mean, he was just 19 years old when we met him a little bit earlier in the month of June, and you kind of have to do a double take when you see him for the first time. He's got the nice mustache. He's a large figure at 220. But the way he has developed this summer into what we expected after his time at GT has been pretty impressive.
One of the most friendly guys you'd be lucky enough to meet here on Cape Cod as well. Georgia man through and through, originally from Marietta. Spent a year at Georgia Southern, correct that, rising junior. Getting ready for his second year at Georgia Tech. He was great yesterday. Went 4 for 5 with a run and RBI in that 10-3 loss. But this one will be a called strike 3. First strikeout that we see for Carson Yasaw ends the bottom of the first. Commodores go down in order. We're still scoreless through our first inning here from Gov Fuller Field. See if more action awaits for us on the top of the second on Cape League TV.
Hi, I'm Jim Murray, owner of Falmouth's historic clam shack, now Jim's Clam Shack. Located on scenic Falmouth Harbor, Jim's Clam Shack is a destination for the best seafood and sunsets on the Cape. We're open 7 days a week, so stop by for lunch or join us for dinner on the rooftop deck. Bring the entire family to try our wide selection of seafood and kid-friendly option. We deliver the freshest products to your plates daily. Jim's Clam Shack, proud supporter of the Falmouth Commodores.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following league partners for their continued support: Veolia North America, Wilson Sporting Goods, Yawkey Foundation, Netting Pros, Falmouth Publishing Company, Butler Sporting Goods, Sports Fix, Margaritaville Resort Cape Cod, Sunderland Printing, Del Mar Vacation Rentals, and of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Hi, I'm TJ Coates. I'm a right-handed pitcher from the University of Nebraska, and I'd love to give a special shout out to my brother. Love you, big man.
You hear from TJ Coates there. His former teammate at Nebraska, Carson Yasa, throws a scoreless bottom of the first. We're still scoreless here in Falmouth, but the last time these two teams met, between the Commodores and the Harbor Hawks, a 6-5 win, won there by Hyannis. Big reason why they're 4-0 so far in this series, Andrew.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker, to put it kind of easily, if you will, where the Commodores were in control for that entire ball game. Then kind of feels like how the rest of the season has gone, where there was a fly ball into left field. Couldn't make the play on it. 2 runs come in. Harbor Hawks take the 6-5 lead, and a game that you really want back if you're the Commodores. And when you look back at some of the losses of the season, that's a frustrating one, no doubt.
Gabe Camacho, first man to meet Jeremy Urena. First pitch he sees, he grounds it over to Reese Maroney at second base for out number 1. One big thing that stuck out to me, Andrew, with that 6-5 Hyannis win, too, you look at the starting pitcher. It was Carson Yasa who started that game as well less than 2 weeks ago. Goes 4 innings, gives up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, walks 4 but strikes out 5. So a lot of big numbers there for Yasa, but he's, again, someone who's seen almost every Cape League team pitching into his 6th game on Cape Cod.
And rarely do you see guys that have been here for an entire summer because, those innings are usually a little bit more restricted, more so limited. But, Yasa didn't get a whole lot of time this past season with Nebraska, so we're just kind of letting him go here in the summer to get his work in.
We saw TJ Coates welcome us into this inning.
Very
He didn't
true.
get much either, but for Yasa, it was just 18 innings at Lincoln this past spring. So that's a Hyannis team that looks to give him some run support after he sits down the Commodores in order, thanks as well to a Jake Schaffner double play. Charlie Bates from the left side. Stanford Cardinal, even up 1-1 with Chris Newstrom, the third baseman, all the way onto the infield grass. Bates, a rising sophomore at Stanford, originally from Palo Alto, California. Working into his 28th game played with the Harbor Hawks, brings in a .233 average, and now a 2-2 count. And this is a Hyannis team that has changed both roster-wise and lineup-wise when facing the Commodores. But Charlie Bates, it's a 4th ground out that Jeremy Urena, now at FIU, has forced. You saw the contact with Jeff Luigi's 2-out double, and then the big flyout by Ryan McKay to center field, which ended the first half inning. So here's the lone right-hander in the lineup today for Mitch Character. It's Miles Davis, the rising sophomore at Oklahoma, transferring over from the State College of Florida, Manatee, Sarasota. Makes that big jump over to the Sooners and cracks this one right over to the shortstop and Adrian Lopez. USC Trojan ready for it and helps out Urena face the minimum in the top of the 2nd. We're still scoreless, not much offense here. Maybe that changes for Falmouth's 2nd time up. We'll have to find out next on Cape League TV.
You'll always be safe at home with the Diana Lucevero Group at Compass Real Estate.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
What's up? I'm Kent Schmidt, first base from Georgia Tech, and you're watching Cape League TV.
You hear from Kent Schmidt right there. He was the last out in the bottom of the 1st inning, meaning it's 4, 5, and 6 due up to face Carson Yasa in It's still scoreless game between Hyannis and Falmouth here from Gov Fuller Field. Back alongside Andrew Della Piana and Ben Haller, I'm Ryan Martin, welcoming you back onto Cape League TV and appreciating you spending your Wednesday night with us. Andrew, it was Yasa who faced the minimum in the bottom of the first, and the big righty looked pretty much untouchable.
That was after two. It was a 7-pitch at bat from Mike Anu where he battled off a lot of foul balls, earned himself a hard-earned walk. Then 2 pitches later, he grounded into the tailor-made double play.
Yep.
That momentum was kind of swashed early on.
Falmouth Jeremy Urania matched it, though, by doing a 1-2-3 scoreless top of the second. So we're through 3 half innings, still no score between the Harbor Hawks and Commodores. Now Bear Harrison, Texas A&M catcher, looks to change that. Harrison, a rising junior in College Station, getting ready for his second year at Texas A&M after spending his freshman year on St. Mary's, a little bit closer to home for the Danville, California native. Yasa's 1-0. For Harrison, a 276 average, 224 games played. Andrew, that's been upped by Harrison, who's found some offensive success amidst the Commodores' 6-game losing streak.
He's been kind of that guy that has been that steady Eddie throughout this losing streak with those 7 hits in the last 4 games. And I think, too, Ryan, it was that home run in the All-Star game that kind of flipped the switch for him offensively, where he was in kind of a rut where he couldn't really make a lot of good contact, but just seeing that ball go over the fence in the All-Star game kind of set that next level of the game we were kind of expecting from Bear.
And Harrison wasn't even supposed to be in that All-Star game.
No.
So last-second replacement. When I say last second, he said manager Jared Saltlamaki
Actually last second.
called him Friday night. Friday night as he was getting ready to be planned on Saturday. But he became the 9th and final Falmouth Commodore to be on that All-Star roster. That was the most on the Cape Cod League this year. 2-2, grounded right back up the middle. Second baseman Jeff Luigi gets to it, throws across the body, takes Camacho off. And Harrison with about as awkward of a deceleration over to first base as you can get to, but it doesn't matter. It's a leadoff single.
I think he was just so surprised to see Camacho come so far off the bag. He wasn't sure if he should be taking that turn over to second or if he just should stop at first base. But that transition from Luigi, it was smooth, but it was a little bit too quick where he grabbed it at the backhand and then kind of made an off-balance throw to first.
Make it now 8 hits and counting for Bear Harrison in his last 5 games started. A bright spot here as the calendar nears August on the Cape Cod Baseball League season. Just got 5 more of these left. Justin Osterhaus steps in and takes a first pitch called strike. Harrison, not much speed over at first base. Big 6'3", 230-pound catcher. Does have 1 stolen base to his name and won't go here as Osterhaus fouls it down the left side. Justin, again, is a rising junior, heading to Alabama after 2 years at Purdue Fort Wayne. The Grand Rapids, Michigan native into his 32nd game with the Commodores. He's got a 245 average this year. Shortstop Schaffner and second baseman Luigi back into double play depth where they already turned one in the first. Won't turn one here. Weak contact by Osterhaus, but it goes into right field. A second consecutive single for the Commodores. Puts 2 on for Adrian Lopez now.
And that was about mid as a decision as you can get from Osterhaus in his swing, where he wasn't sure if he should swing early on the fastball or stay a little bit farther back. Only comes in at 80 from Yasu.
And we always talk about fast exit speeds, whether it's 100 plus off the bat, impressive. How about a 64 mile an hour off the bat for the now Crimson Tide utility man? Whatever's needed to get on base.
Hey, single's a single. You don't complain about that.
It works. We just saw that with Bear Harrison, too. Here's Adrian Lopez. Double play depth still for the middle infield where he cracks it to the second baseman, Luigi. Underhands the second for 1, and we'll say it beat Justin Osterhaus over there. Fielder's choice takes Osterhaus off the base paths. Safety squeeze candidate.
I think a lot of things go into a safety squeeze, especially early on in the ball game as well. You think about the struggles the Commodores have had with runners in scoring position. Just trying to catch Hyannis by surprise.
1-1 from the Nebraska cornhusker. Yasa is outside.
Camacho at first and Davis at third. They're staying put on the infield in the corners. So it's definitely available down the right side if Maroney wants to test it once more.
See if he does on the 2-1. He swings through it, and It's a slow chopper over to the third baseman and Miles Davis. He comes up empty, though. The run will score on Harrison. Lopez pumps the brakes over at second base. Call it an RBI single for Reese Maroney. His second run batted in on the summer. Gives Falmouth a rare lead amidst his losing streak. It's 1-0 Commodores.
And that was just about the same thing as a bunt, right? That was not hit very hard off the bat of Maroney, but Davis had to charge in and make a tough play. Don't know if his eyes were more focused on trying to get to home there to catch Harrison, but even kicked the ball pretty deep into foul territory.
Between the Harrison single, the Osterhaus single, and Maroney adding the third single. Not great contact or anything, but it's what gets you to first base that matters. First pitch is upstairs to Caden Brumbaugh, going to Oklahoma after a couple of years at Nebraska where he was teammates with Carson Yasa. A couple of former Cornhuskers and 2024 Big Ten champions, 2 in a row. Both runners go. The throw down to Maroney on the called ball is not in time. Maroney slides into second. What a great jump also at second base by Adrian Lopez. Now 2 in scoring position for Brumbaugh. So we'll adjust the scoreboard. It's 2 balls, no strikes on Caden Brumbaugh. Making his 6th appearance with the Commodores. Got a .308 average. Looks for his first run batted in on Cape Cod. This one getting grounded over the shortstop, and Schaffner goes up to get it. Throws over to first base in time for the second out. But that is the first run batted in for Caden Brumbaugh. He scores Adrian Lopez to make it 2-0 Falmouth.
And the way the Commodores have manufactured runs here in this second inning has been impressive, where it's been all about timeliness for this team, right? Where runners in scoring position, it hasn't been great, a lot of strikeouts, but when you put the ball in play, you put some pressure on the defense to make those outs and keep runners moving as well.
There's Chris Newstrom. Sends the first pitch the opposite way. It'll tail just foul. As far as the average goes for the Commodores with runners in scoring position, 236 average in general, goes to just .096 this year. It's the worst on Cape Cod with runners in scoring position. 0-1 to Newstrom. It was outside. Catcher and Brody Briggs keeps in front of him, so Reese Maroney stays up at third base. Newstrom strings through a 1-1. It gets away from Briggs. Maroney read it the whole way through. He'll scamper home from third base. 3 singles in this inning. Now 3 runs for the Commodores. First 3 of this game. One ball, 2 strikes now from Caden Brumbaugh to Chris Newstrom is upstairs to even the count at 2. Newstrom, the rising sophomore at Tennessee and a Phoenix native, is making his 26th appearance on Cape Cod. He's trying to work on that average still. It's down to 137. I like the confidence from Jared Saltamakia. It's been a bit of a rare 2 consecutive games started by Newstrom now, with him playing at YD yesterday. He'll loft this one into right field. Sawyer Black nearing foul territory, catches it in play though for out number 3. Those 3 singles by Harrison, Osterhaus, and Maroney respectively turn into 3 runs for the
One source has it all. The pros' go-to rental choice for the newest and most reliable equipment for any job. One source that has a team you can rely on, the people and a name you trust, with the tools you need. One source with a location near you and wherever the work takes you. Milton Rents, the right equipment when and where you need it.
Hi, I'm Mike Newton from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, and I'd like to give a special shout out to my boy T.
Top of the third inning, just off of Main Street in Falmouth, Massachusetts. The Commodores and Harbor Hawks squaring up in Game 36 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. Back alongside Andrew Della Piana, I'm Ryan Martin for what's now a 3-0 Falmouth lead after the Commodores played 3 runs in that last half inning, thanks to the first.
Something that the Commodores haven't heard a lot this summer, especially in the last 6 games on this losing streak, where the only half inning they led was on Thursday in the top of the second against Bourne. In the bottom half of that inning, though, Bourne scored 4 runs to regain the lead. So Urena has really settled in and has only faced 1 more than the minimum. He's looked good so far.
There's got to be some smiles, maybe sighs of relief in that Commodores dugout. First lead in 6 days for Falmouth. Urena. You've seen that pair of Urena off the mound and Schmidt at first base. They've been active today. There are a couple of groundouts. It's a weak contact that Urena, the pitcher, has forced.
That's been some good communication, too, between Schmidt and Urena, where it's kind of was in that in-between spot where Schmidt wasn't sure if he should take that to the bag himself, but Urena, smart play as a pitcher, covering over just in case.
5 straight batters retired now for Jeremy Urena. Tries to add to it here against the righty, or the 9-hole hitter, Sawyer Black, rising sophomore at UNC. Run the count full on Sawyer Black. Owen Prince waits on deck when the lineup card flips over, but here, the payoff to Black. Spoiled away, and maybe off of Harrison, the catcher. Harrison seems to be okay. We mentioned his appearance in the All-Star game, so he's now wearing the West Division All-Star blue helmet and catcher's gear. Maybe offering a little bit more protection, or just looks cool.
I think tougher for these guys.
First strikeout in this appearance for Urena. As then it's grounded over by Prince to first base. Schmidt just has to step 1 stride over to first for the out. It's now 7 consecutive batters retired by Jeremy Urena. He's doing his thing. Commodores give him some run support and look to add on to it in the bottom of the third. We'll pick it up there next on Cape League TV.
Introducing Open Cape, the local nonprofit internet service provider in this region. Open Cape's fast and reliable network is 100% fiber optic, providing affordable internet connectivity. To learn more, visit opencape.org and always speak with a live Open Cape representative. Open Cape, providing choice and competition for your home or business and the official internet provider of your Falmouth Commodores.
We are Open Cape.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Home half of the third inning here at Gov Fuller Field, where the Falmouth Commodores lead the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 3-0. Look to add on to it by batting for the third time. Alongside Andrew Della Piana, I'm Ryan Martin here on Cape League TV. We're joined by a third member of our crew, Ben Haller, who's got a little bit more on one of our Commodores players who knows something about 2 teams that seem to not like each other in the Big Ten. Ben, what do you got for us?
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Well, we heard from the new Falmouth catcher, Mason Eckelman, earlier on the broadcast. Now, he's got an interesting story. Me being an Ohio guy, I understand what the Ohio State fan base is like, and they don't like other people outside of that Ohio State fan base. Now, Mason grew up in an all-Ohio State family. His dad, Alex Eckelman, is part of the Ohio State Athletics Hall of Fame. He was a Hall of Fame member of the baseball team. His mom played. Interesting. There was a change of the Ohio State coaching staff, and then finally, Mason got got that call to get that offer from Ohio State. He's now there with his cousin too, Henry Kazmar. It's all happy in the Buckeye family. Back to you guys.
Hell no. Thanks so much, Ben. Yeah, Andrew, I'm not sure how you can even come back to what I assume is Ohio State house through and through, and sounds like it is with their lineage, and say, you know what, I want to wear the maize and blue with Michigan.
That's a tough thing to do to your parents, especially.
With Michigan.
That's a tough thing to do to your parents, especially a big rivalry like that. I'd say that is the biggest rivalry in all of. College football is Michigan, Ohio State. I mean, Michigan is at their
field, and it's a left fielder, Bates, who just looks up and kisses it goodbye. Your Cape League leader in home runs adds another. It's the first home run in nearly a month for Mike Anu, but his 8th on the summer makes it 4-0 Commodores.
He's been waiting on it. We talked to him yesterday before the YD game, just trying to get off the schneid of getting one out of the ballpark, and he just gets a pitch high in the zone that he just doesn't miss at all.
Both threw it off the bat, 398 feet to left center field. A pitch that was Gov Fuller Field in a hurry. Just lent it back on it and sent it there. His 8th homer, first since July 6th. That's before he left for the Major League Baseball draft, and some 17 games ago. And we were talking to New, just as you said. He was swinging for the fences a little bit and wanted to see him get that monkey off his back. Now he does, and Antonio Morales sees a 3-0 count. This is the second consecutive 3-0 count that Carson Yassaw has gotten himself behind to begin the third. And to begin the home half of the third. Yassaw's 3-1. He's taken inside, a 4-pitch walk, and Morales goes to claim first base. That induces a conversation with the battery pairing of Brody Briggs behind the dish and Carson Yassaw on the mound. Last half inning, then the solo homer and walk to Morales. Just different ways that Falmouth's getting on base. That hasn't even been the case during the 6-game losing streak.
And again, we hate to kind of beat a dead horse, but seeing a guy over and over, of course, you're going to be statistically a little bit better. But the way the Commodores have hit the baseball in this one, haven't been too hard. The only hard contact was Mike Anu on that solo home run, but other than that, you look at Harrison and Maroney on that single, didn't jump off the bat.
So here's Ken Schmidt looking to keep the good times rolling for the Commodores. A 4-run lead for Falmouth.
More guys are elevating to 4, 5 in their arsenal, so when you usually only have 3 pitches, it makes it a little bit more predictable sometimes. Guys are more so not guessing as much.
And again, a pitch mix that the Commodores have already seen, so you use the 3 pitches only. With a bit of experience, you never see that really in the college season either. Unless the rare circumstances of you see a pitcher in conference play and then in the conference tournament maybe. Morales takes off from first. Hit and runs on as Schmidt rounds it over to the second baseman, Lucci. Over to first base for finally out number 1. It does move Morales to second base on the play. Morales has speed at second base. He's got 8 stolen bases. It did take him 13 tries to get there, though. 1-0's inside, gets away from Briggs. Morales up to third base easily. And the struggles, the hitting's contagious for this Falmouth team. When it's on, it's on. When it's off as it's felt like it's recently been. All of a sudden, maybe that switch is getting flipped here against the Harbor Hawks.
The 3 RBIs early on in the early part. Lujay's basically off his back foot trying to fire that back into the infield. And that is a really tough play to make. Lujay's basically off his back foot trying to fire that back into the infield. And that is a really tough play to make.
Excellent point by you as well. There's really no shot for Lujay at second. Mr. House skies the first pitch he sees the opposite way. Left fielder Bates gives a chase, but it'll just hit off the gravel. Foul ball for strike 1. Morales reaches via the walk and then advances to second on the ground out to Schmidt and all the way home when Bear Harrison pops out to second. Osterhaus goes over to third base, takes a touch off the dirt before getting to Miles Davis. He throws across the diamond just high for Camacho, and Osterhaus is safe at first with a single.
Good stab at them. That was kind of nubbed more so off the inside of the bat.
So just as he was in the second inning, now in the third inning, it's Justin Osterhaus at first base for Adrian Lopez. Commodores up by 5, looking to add on. Lopez grounded into a fielder's choice, so that took Osterhaus off the base paths. And when Lopez was at first base, he came around to score the second run in this game. One. Runner goes in Osterhaus, the ball outside. Osterhaus is safe at second and then takes off for third as the throwdown gets away from Luigi. From first to third goes Justin Osterhaus. Now runner at third base for Adrian Lopez.
Not sure where that deflected off of, if that got off of Luigi or Osterhaus at second base. We'll take another look at it.
One from Yasa. Changeup that doesn't break inside. Another walk issued. It's his second of the inning, third of the game. Runners on the corners for Reese Maroney.
You can see some light tossing going around in the Hyannis bullpen behind left field. So there definitely is some action.
Where he had a one-run single. Now it is again, but not quickly, as Lopez takes off for second base, slides in without a throw. Time this half inning.
Yeah, he's definitely losing command a little bit. Just 2 more strikes than balls. He's thrown 63 pitches.
Get me over pitch goes middle for Yasa. Make it 3 balls, 1 strike.
To excellence and compassion in everything we do. Like helping people maintain their active lifestyles and compassion in everything we do. Like helping people maintain their active lifestyles. Our innovative orthopedic program combines advanced techniques and leading-edge technology. With highly specialized teams, including our nationally recognized Center of Excellence for Joint Replacement. Our focus back to doing the things you love in the place you love.
The Center of Excellence and the quality of care that we can deliver makes all the difference to the patients. They understand that they can get the best care right here.
It's the southpaw out of Arkansas, Hunter Dietz. Appearance on Cape Cod for Dietz. Doesn't work too deep into outings, but it means that the day is done for Carson Yasa, who just made his Cape League leading 6th appearance on the summer. Just got rocked around facing this Commodores team for a second time.
Yeah, this is the most runs the Commodores have scored in a game since July 11th against Katuitt. It has been
run single. Make him 2 for 2 with 3 runs batted in. Caden Brumbaugh takes his spot from the right side where he contributed with a run batted in on a sacrifice an inning ago. So Mitch Carricker pulls the Nebraska Cornhusker Carson Yasa right. Already the best game that Reese Maroney has had on Cape Cod so far. He's over at first base jumping. Maroney started his Cape League tenure 1 for 8 through his first 3 games played. Game number 4, make him 2 for 2. And 1 run frame for the Commodores. Put Falmouth up 7-0. Harborhawks need some offensive action. Maybe they find it in the top of the 4th. Next on Cape League TV.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Introducing Open Cape, the local nonprofit internet service provider in this region. Open Cape's fast and reliable network is 100% fiber optic, providing affordable internet connectivity. To learn more, visit opencape.org and always speak with a live Open Cape representative. Open Cape, providing choice and competition for your home or business and the official internet provider of your Falmouth Commodores.
We are Open Cape.
I'm Trevor Baumler, right-handed pitcher from TCU, and you're watching Commodores Baseball on Cape League TV.
A 2010, B 2006, C 2001, or D 1998. As always, you can tweet your answer at us by using the hashtag DoorsTrivia. Getting ready for the fourth inning of work for Jeremy Urena. We'll have that answer for you coming up at the bottom of this frame. Been good so far. Retired the last 7 batters he faced. Now has the run support with a 7.
I don't know, my year so. It just kind of speaks to me. It's really all I'm going off of.
Good question today by our producer and Kyle Klima. Appreciate his work throughout this broadcast. 1-1 to Schaffner goes foul.
Fans, once again, the crowd will watch track is considered any play. We ask that you please remove yourself from that track. Thank you.
There's been no runs on just that one hit today so far for the Hyannis Harborhawks off of the FIU righty. With 2 outs in the top of the first, Luigi now on deck for Jake Schaffner. Goes outside on Schaffner, getting ready for his first year of ACC play at North Carolina, following 2 seasons at North Dakota State, where he was a 2-time All-Summit League. But no reason to think about taking out Urena yet. As Luigi steps in, he's the lone Harborhawk to get on base against Urena. That double that kept the first inning going.
Garber only threw about 10, 15 warm-up pitches before sitting back down, so just getting the arm loose a little bit.
1. He's grounded over to the first baseman, and Schmidt will take it back to himself for the bag. There's 2 outs now in the top of the fourth.
The designated hitter for Hyannis from Michigan State, number 5, Ryan McKay.
2 balls, no strikes to Ryan McKay, rising junior at Michigan State and the Clarkston, Michigan native. Lined into center field. Morales goes back on it, has to speed up a little bit more towards the wall, but catches down out number 3. Make it 10 straight batters retired by Jeremy Urena. Falmouth giving him the run support, and he's doing.
And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Hi, I'm Jackson Manesco from Motion City, New Jersey, and I want to give a quick shout out to my mom.
Back here at Gov Fuller Field for the home half of the fourth inning. After a fourth scoreless inning pitched by Jeremy Urena, it's 7-0 Commodores. It's time for our Doors Trivia answer. We asked you to begin the fourth inning, when was the last time Falmouth missed the playoffs 2 years in a row? Andrew, you were right. The answer was B, 2006. It's been a long time.
Hey, the family answer never fails, all right? Keep that in the back of your mind.
Go with your gut, whatever connection you need to an answer. So thank you to Andrew's sister, Avery, for making sure that 2006 was in his brain when he saw that. That was a game that Katuitt started leading early as we scoreboard watch a little bit here from Gov Fuller Field with the playoff implications on mind. Harwich climbs back with 3 runs up.
Yeah, so they're making it a little bit competitive. I think just the big glaring thing was Harwich has been, I'd say, the best team right now on Cape Cod, and that was kind of the, oh my. That one lost the grip of Deach just a little bit. Back to my point about the Cavaliers. They face a really good pitching team in Harwich.
He goes outside for a 2-ball, 1-strike count. He goes outside for a 2-ball, 1-strike count. When you go to that Hyannis game, that was 5-2. Then you lose 6 consecutive games after that. You couldn't really preview that after the win against the Mariners. The defending champs, they're on the road. This one grounded over the shortstop. Schaffner throws it way high and late. Mike Anu reaches. That was 5-2. Then you lose 6 consecutive games after that. You couldn't really preview that after the win against the Mariners. The defending champs, they're on the road. For 1 line. He walked and scored an inning ago. And grounds it over to the first baseman in Camacho. Underhand flip to Dietz, who touches first base in time. New does advance over to third base. Speed 90 feet away from becoming the Commodores' 8th run now for Ken Schmidt.
Scoreboard, that's 2 outs.
Schmidt's been quiet after a 4-for-5 day at YD yesterday. One of the lone offensive bright spots in a 10-3 loss for the Commodores 24 hours ago. This one's lined into center field. Owen Prince goes back on it. Mike Anu. But finally a scoreless inning for the Commodores after 7 runs across the last 2. That's why our score reads 7-0 entering the top of the 5th. Bring you back in just a moment on Cape League TV.
There's a 0 chance that you'll want to miss our 0% for 72 months offer. For a limited time, CAD is offering 0% on the purchase of many new small excavators. That's 0% for better performance, 0% for next generation features.
Great machine. It's quite impressive.
0% for work tools too. But there's a 0% chance this offer will last. So
To my parents. Oh. To my parents. Oh.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field for the top of the... It's the 3rd appearance we see for Everett Garber. It's the 3rd appearance we see for Everett Garber. Smaller sample size inning-wise. We're just going those 8 innings so far. He's given up 5 hits and no runs for the Bucknell Bison. Good midseason addition for the Commodores. You can see the same about Jeremy Urena, who gave his best stuff so far, throwing 4 scoreless.
Yeah, allowing just the 1 runner on base too. That was the double by Luigi back in the 2nd inning. But after that, he absolutely cruised, retiring.
Urena, but even with the lefty-righty advantage, having his way. You mentioned giving up the double to Luigi, then retiring the next and final 10 he faces. That's why Gabe Camacho's 0 for 1 in this game, and ground out to the second baseman Maroney to lead off the 2nd. Garber's 1-1. It's a call strike taking the top of the zone. Garber, rising sophomore with the Bison. Originally from the heart of the city, New York City, New York. 1-2. Is lofted into rising sophomore at Stanford. His family lineage. Rising sophomore at Stanford. His family lineage is on the other side of that famous Stanford, California rivalry. His grandfather, Jim, playing football with the Golden Bears. Yet it was Charlie who was born at Stanford Hospital. He grew up wanting to be a Stanford Cardinal, even with his grandfather suiting up for Cal Berkeley. Bates made that dream come true when he was ranked the #2 shortstop in California. Fourth overall prospect in this that Jeremy Urena allowed via the first inning double. Now it's Bates on with a walk for Miles Davis. Davis continuing the success that JUCO players have had on Cape Cod this season. Again, transferring over from the State College of Florida Manatee, Sarasota into Oklahoma, where at that JUCO he hit .378 through 44 games. Former #2 player in Iowa, the top shortstop in the class of 2024. Sees a call strike 1. And I want to say up in Norfolk, Massachusetts. Or Rentham. It was Rentham, Massachusetts. An unlikely story is a great place for a cup of coffee and a good read. 2-1. Big swing and a miss for Davis. He was looking to power through what would be his first homer on the summer and first extra base hit in his 10th game with the Harbor Hawks.
There have been 20 Diver Wimpy kickers Uncovers dive and wimpy kid too?
No, he does not.
Oh,
I'm saying if you're not doing that, maybe your read. No, he does not.
Oh,
I'm saying if you're not doing that, maybe your read. Now spam at home, and Jeff Kenny and Dario Wimpy kid maybe at the beach. Take a trip to Old Silver Beach or Falmouth Heights. Another 3-2 is spoiled away by Miles Davis. We'll see his 7th pitch at this at-bat. Did you have a favorite Dario Wimpy kid? Did you have a favorite Dario Wimpy kid, Buck? Brody Briggs steps in against Scarborough. He's 0 for 1, a ground out. 0 for 1, a ground out to where Morales watches it into the glove for the second out of the inning and forces Bates to retreat to first. Correct that. That's the 3rd out to Antonio Morales. Commodores pitching stays doing its thing. 7-0 Commodores, and Falmouth looks to build on that entering the bottom of the 5th, where Andrew Delapiano will have you for the play-by-play of this one through. We'll be right back here on Cape League TV.
Hi, I'm Jim Murray, owner of Falmouth's historic clam shack, now Jim's Clam Shack. Located on scenic Falmouth Harbor, Jim's Clam Shack is a destination for the best seafood and sunsets on the Cape. We're open 7 days a week, so stop by for lunch or join us for dinner on the rooftop deck. Bring the entire family to try our wide selection of seafood and kid-friendly option. We deliver freshest products to your plates daily. Jim's Clam Shack, proud supporter of the Falmouth Commodores.
Hi, I'm Michael Kasparian, President of the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is here for the benefit of the whole community. Whether you're a local business or a visitor, Falmouth has endless offerings, from its beautiful beaches and historical sites, with all the tools to make their trip one to remember. Our visitor center is located in downtown, from its beautiful beaches and historical sites to its local shopping and eateries. The Chamber bridges the 8 villages, providing visitors with all the tools to make their trip one to remember. Our visitor center is located in downtown Falmouth, just off of Main Street. Come by and meet our team. The Falmouth Chamber of Commerce, your community connection.
I'm Adrian Lopez. I'm an infielder from the University of Southern California, and you're watching Commodore Baseball on Cape League TV.
Day here at the Gov, but Commodores 4 points out of a playoff spot. Not a lot of time left to pick up some wins.
Feels like just yesterday the Commodores were hosting Brewster in that home opening loss to the Whitecaps, and all of a sudden you blink and you have August around the corner this week.
It has gone by in a flash, and it has been tons of fun here on Cape Cod, no doubt. Bear Harrison to lead things off for the Commodores. Hunter Dietz out there for a 2nd inning on the job. 1 ball, 1 strike to Harrison. Drove in a run back in the 3rd thanks to a sac fly on a pop-up to the 2nd in the 3rd frame. And the count at 2 balls, no strikes. It's above 260 in this situation.
Similar for Hunter Dietz out of the start that we saw for Falmouth's Jeremy Urena begin this inning. Just weak contact to the middle of the infield.
Ball game. 2 stolen bases for the shortstop. Ball game. 2 stolen bases for the shortstop. And the count, 3 balls, no strikes. This was a problem early on for Yasa as well, where he would get behind in counts, and the Commodores would really tee off.
We were talking as well to his former Nebraska teammate, Caden Brumbaugh, about what it's like to face him. As Brumbaugh has faced him in practice before, and it's pitches just like Dietz had there, where it was Yasa who, according to Brumbaugh, had that buzz, as he called it, the fastball that can reach 98. But a bit wild, and now we're seeing the same out of Hunter Dietz.
He's actually pretty good friends with them, and says,
according to Brumbaugh, had that buzz, as he called it, the fastball that can reach 98. But a bit wild, and now we're seeing the same out of Hunter Dietz.
He's actually pretty good friends with them, and
understanding that both Yasa and now Dietz aren't looking his way, and he'll claim 3rd from second.
Now Maroney with a chance.
3rd inning, just understanding that both Yasa and now Dietz aren't looking his way, and he'll claim third from second.
Now Maroney with a chance for RBI number 4. Commodores have been a lot better with runners in scoring position today. 2 for 6. Entering this one, 2.
He'll claim third from second.
Now Maroney with a chance for RBI number 4. Commodores have been a lot better with runners in scoring position today. 2 for 6. Entering this one, 2 for
with 5 games to go.
Feels perfect too to do it against a divisional opponent who you've lost 4 of the first 4 meetings against, where the offense has basically been invisible in those games. But now to come back in this one, have a performance like this, very reassuring for the Commodores. We're just 4 games back, I should say 4 points back of a playoff spot with 4 games to go after this one. 1-2 count to Caden Brumbaugh. Already faced off against his former teammate Carson Yassa a little bit earlier in this ball game. Briggs keeps it in front of him. He has been busy in this ball game. Brumbaugh has an RBI in the second. He's 0 for 2, a hard line out to Luigi at second back in the third. Full count. A real journeyman, as you'll hear from Ben Haller, the third member of our crew. In just a little bit. Playing at his third school in 4 years at Oklahoma, upcoming this fall. Payoff pitch. Brumbaugh slaps it foul on the first base line. Maroney on first after that 4th RBI of the ball game. The Commodores in this one as well have scored 6 of their 8 runs, Ryan, with 2 outs. It's usually on the other hand of the foot. As that ball low in the dirt for ball 4. Another well-earned walk for the Doors.
Those walks adding up as well. Second walk issued in the last 3 batters for Hunter Dietz. But to go back to your point, Andrew, this just feels like a different Commodores team than we're used to seeing Falmouth play during the 6-game losing streak. You mentioned his offensive outburst to 8 runs. It comes with maybe more comfortability with 2 out hitting than we've seen during the streak too.
Harbor Hawks both in that category where 2 outs on the defensive end has been a problem. That whip over 1.6. And is also the same number for the Commodores as well. Big hack from Chris Newstrom, who is the 6th batter in the frame to hit. 0 for 2 with a fly out and a strikeout. Maroney at second, Brumbaugh at first. Commodores well in control in this one. And what has turned out to be a pretty good night here at Gov Fuller Field after that sun set. It was about 85-0 Falmouth lead as we go into the 6th inning here on Cape League TV.
Are you looking for that perfect pregame meal? Supreme Pizza has you covered. Its extensive menu has everything from pies and calzones to salads and subs. And with its online ordering system, delicious food is just one click away.
It's an honor to support the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Supreme Pizza is open every day of the week. Order online or stop by their store, located at 147 T-Ticket Highway, and try a slice today.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following league partners for their continued support. 99 Restaurants, Badger Sports, The Baldwin Group, Bluebird Dennisport, Bridgewater State University, Cape Destinations. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field. We mentioned Caden Brumbaugh, who's in this ball game as the right fielder, as a journeyman here on Cape Cod. His third school in 4 years coming up. Ben Haller has more, including some more rivalry talk, Ben. Let's do it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andrew. You saw Brumbaugh work that 8-pitch walk in the last inning. You mentioned him being a journeyman. We talked about Mason Eckelman earlier. Not necessarily a journeyman. He's been at Ohio State his whole career, but committed to Michigan at one point. How about we move to a guy who has played for two different sides of a rival? He started at Oklahoma State. He's from Oklahoma, not far from there. Had to stop at the middle between Nebraska, but how about this? He's committed to play at Oklahoma this year. Now, obviously, those are...
Feels like a rivalry, too, between these two teams who... Trying to get off the schneid with championship droughts, the two longest on Cape Cod meeting tonight. Falmouth hasn't won since 1980. Hyannis since 1991. Hyannis since 1991. It has been a long time for these two teams. It is Sawyer Black to lead things off for the Harbor Hawks against Everett Garber, who faced just 4 batters in his first inning of relief, and Black pokes it down the left field line, just tailing foul.
With those championship droughts, if you go back just a year ago, one team looked like they would end it, one team certainly didn't. Falmouth missing the playoffs in the West Division, but it was Hyannis who won the West Division under then first-year manager Mitch Carricker. Just got off to a really, really good July. Couldn't carry that in to playoff success, though, at McKeon Park.
It's a division that has been owned mostly in the postseason by Black spoils it away.
This is the 69th game that Bear Harrison's played between his year at Texas A&M and being the main catcher this year for the Commodores. Certainly taken his bruises through the spring and summer seasons.
Played a huge part for the Aggies this past spring in his first year there at College Station. It is a walk for Sawyer Black. Bear Harrison was a big name that we talked about before the season as one of those guys that was the faces of the catcher's room.
I was just going to bring that up, which feels like ages ago, even though we were just mentioning the season has flown by.
Bear, after transferring out of St. Mary's, was really good this past year with the Aggies. He had a streak where he reached base safely in 23 consecutive conference games, which in the SEC, where you allow 13 teams into the NCAA tournament, that's really tough to do. Back to the top of the lineup for the Harbor Hawks for the third time. Here's Owen Prince. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 Prince. Newstrom with his toes on the grass at third base, protecting a potential bunt. Maroney did not apply it to Black as he ran past him on his way to second. Jared Saltalamacchia out for a quick word with first base umpire Jeff Kinney about that missed tag.
Saltalamacchia's conversations have worked too. We saw the call reverse yesterday at YD. Not sure how hard he'll press on this decision.
Looks like he missed him. That is just Sawyer Black using the 5 Ds of dodgeball right there. Dip, dive, duck, and dodge, right?
Yes. Did you say it in the right order, though?
Yes.
I got that reference. I know I missed a couple references.
So the umps will have a meeting in the infield, and that call will stand. Looked pretty clear on our replay that Maroney missed that as Black ran past him.
Sawyer Black can avoid a wrench. He can avoid a tag as well.
There you go. That's how you follow it up, my friend. First player in program history for the Bison to do that. Tags one out to center field. Morales to his right makes the catch. Black tags from third. No relay throw home. And the Harbor Hawks are on the board thanks to the sacrifice fly by Jake Schaffner. It is 8-1 Commodores in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, we were talking with some of the outfielders pregame about giving little jabs at each other of who's got the better arm and throwing out. We've seen Mike Anu toss a fly out, and a guy try to tag up and throw him there. But 310 feet to Antonio Morales in center field. I think that's more of the latter, just too far to really get a play onto it. Talking about that pregame, how it's a rare off day for Schmidt as well. He's played in 33 of a potential 35 first games.
And also with the most hits on Cape Cod entering this ball game. So we'll see tomorrow if that holds true with him getting the day off. 2-2 count to Jeff Luigi. He's got the lone hit in this ball game for the Harbor Hawks. That was a double in the first inning. Foul tips this one in the mitt for strike 3. So Sawyer Black scores after that leadoff walk, but no more damage done for the Commodores. 8-1 Falmouth as we roll along into the home half of the 6th. Here from Gulf Fuller Field.
Hi, my name is Matt Burgess, General Manager here at Falmouth Country Club. We have a unique 27-hole public golf course with a beautiful layout that is family-oriented. Kids play free here at Falmouth Country Club. Getting on the course is quick and easy with our app. You can book tee times, get yardages with GPS, use our interactive scorecard, track your stats, and receive exclusive in-app offers. Falmouth Country Club is a true Cape Cod classic and a local family favorite.
See you on the course.
Hi, I'm Michael Kasparian, President of the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is here for the benefit of the whole community. Whether you're a local business or a visitor, Falmouth has endless offerings, from its beautiful beaches and historical sites to its local shopping and eateries. The Chamber bridges the 8 villages, providing visitors with all the tools to make their trip one to remember. Our visitor center is located in downtown Falmouth, just off of Main Street. Come by and meet our team. The Falmouth Chamber of Commerce, your community connection.
Hi, I'm Zach Johnston from Cumberland, Maine. I'd like to give a special shout out to my host parents, Paula and John, for being great people.
Commodores with the 8-1 advantage as we go to the bottom of the 6th. New arm out there for the Commodores, I should say for the Harbor Hawks. It is Henry Shabbat, the transfer out of Chapman University, heading to USC in the fall for the rising sophomore. Who was phenomenal in his first season as a true starting pitcher, ranked 3rd in Division III with 105 strikeouts. And makes his second appearance here on Cape Cod for the Arizona native, who turns 22 years old at the end of August. Mike Anu to lead things off for the Commodores. He had the big solo home run back in the 3rd inning. Traveled just shy of 400 feet out to left center field. His first home run since July 6th. And it has been a long time and a massive weight off the shoulders of Mike Anu. Goes after the first one. This guy's a foul.
Anu's a guy we know who will never take the game too seriously, never too low, usually pretty high with a good smile on his face. But he knew he had a dog in his back. You're exactly right about that homer. Now has it, and now he's also leading off for the 3rd time in the 6 innings. Andrew, that tells me that this Commodores team is hitting, and so does the scoreboard.
It definitely does. With the 8 runs on 7 hits, everybody getting involved in the action. Adrian Lopez, Kent Schmidt, and Antonio Morales, the lone players to have a hit in this one, but they've been involved in other ways, as Lopez has come around to score 3 times. Hard swing and a miss by Mike Anu, who has reached all 3 times. Walked in the first, reached on an E6 in the 4th, and of course the solo shot in the 3rd. One, 2 from Shabbat. Slider tailing outside.
I feel like New is a guy you always got to watch with the new accessories and everything. He's rocking the Arkansas Razorback shin guard, transferring into Arkansas. Has yet to play a game for the Razorbacks. And new batting gloves as well.
It's not teal, is it? It's like a cyan, is that what it is?
Yeah. I think if that's how you pronounce the color, I know what you're talking about.
Cyan?
The batting gloves are actually
CYAN?
from LV Lumber by nearby Rutherford, Pennsylvania to him. So it's a friend of his from high school who started up that company, and anytime he needs a new bat, which is matching the brand or those gloves, he says, hey, can you hook me up? And when he went home for the Major League Baseball draft, picked up some new gear.
This business is all about who you know. New knows singles into center field for a leadoff base hit. He has reached all 4 times in this ball game.
The center fielder, from Maryland, number 2,
A little bit of everything as well for Mike Anu. Again, a guy who we mentioned who's really struggled since coming back from about that week and a half home in Pennsylvania for the draft. This is the Mike Anu that we're used to seeing, doing it in about every way you could think. A homer, a single, a walk, and also reached and was stranded on an error.
8th hit total for the Commodores in this one. Here's Antonio Morales. He's been on base once as well. Check over at New at first. Morales had the big game last night with that 2-run single in the 8th to put the Commodores within 1 of the Red Sox, but Whitey scored 6 in the bottom of that frame to really put it out of reach. And what would have been a nice little comeback for the Commodores to steal that one on the road gets away from them to drop their 6th game in a row.
I think the outlook of a potential win there at Red Wilson Field, get-right game against one of the top teams in the league, didn't come to fruition against YD, but it's happening here against Hyannis.
Harbor Hawks, who have had an interesting month of July where they really struggled out of the gate, winning 3 of their first 12 games in July, and found their rhythm once again as this team we know them to be, where it's good offense, better pitching that have kind of led them through. And all you really need to do, Ryan, is be one of those 4 teams in your division to sneak in the postseason, and anything can happen.
Just get in. Just get in. I think that has to be the motto for this Falmouth team. It's what Harwich did last year after losing 16 of a 17-game span in June. Comes back with a good July. And they're the Cape League champions. Anything can happen in this league, my friend.
You always find it funny that Harwich had a worse regular season record than the Commodores. They got in because the East was a little bit weaker than the West last season. But all you need to do is just get in to give yourself a chance. Get back to that old format, if you will, in the postseason, where that first round of divisional play is that best of 3, then the divisional finals also best of 3, as well as the championship series.
Bit of a different format from the one and only year that we saw the 1-game playoff in the first round in 2024.
Yeah, that's tough to do. Your 40-game season come down to 1 against a division opponent you'll see for a 6th time at that. But that best of 3 allows you to get a better gauge of who is the better overall team. Most of the time.
Baseball's a funny sport.
3-2 count to Antonio Morales. New takes off. It's ball 4 either way. New will be safe in the first 2 reach of the inning for the Commodores.
It's a much more patient Falmouth team. Of course, you have to do that only if the pitcher you're facing is throwing outside the zone. But the second walk we see for Antonio Morales. And I think it's
slider too, the guy on deck in Bear Harrison.
And for Schmidt too, that added with a run batted in. He's loved batting with runners in scoring position, a good average that's gone up via that loss yesterday.
Yeah, 375 with guys at second or third. As he tacks one into left center field, long run by Bates into the gap. It's over his head and one hops the fence. New around third, he'll score with these. Morales getting the wave as well. He's in there. A 2-run double for Kent Schmidt, who makes it double figures in the ball game for the Commodores with a little bit of floss on top. It is 10-1 Falmouth.
Make it the first time since July 5th. That feels like a decade ago since the Commodores have scored double-digit runs. That was an 11-4 win over Wareham. Now a 10-1 lead over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. There's the extra base hit that Ken Schmidt so badly wanted yesterday as part of that 4-for-5 line, but couldn't reach. it scores 2 as well by getting it here.
RBIs 19 and 20 for Kent Schmidt, who continues to climb in the rankings on Cape Cod. That'll definitely put him top 3 at least after this night is over. Now 18 of his 20 RBIs, Ryan, with runners in scoring position. He is someone who really cashes in when he gets the chance. He stands at second, still nobody gone in the bottom of the 6th. Commodores 10, Harbor Hawks 1. Maybe something to keep in the back of your mind too, Ryan, is if Schmidt comes around to score, Commodores put up a 0 on the top of the 7th, this ball game could be over, and you save some arms for the rest of this tough stretch.
And you'd go from losing 6 straight games to winning your first Mercy Rule 10-run rule win of the season. That'd be quite a turnaround.
That would be quite the contrary. Harrison 1 for 2. He's got an RBI to his name as well. That came with a sac fly. And it is a 4-pitch walk from Shabbat. The Harbor Hawks just kind of looking around the infield for answers right now.
I'm going to say this feels like a time that Henry Shabbat should have a quick meeting at the mound, and that's exactly what happens. Shabbat now tossing another walk. He's had 20 pitches in this game so far, and just 8 for strikes.
It is Blaze Martinez, the pitching coach, out there for a quick word. 2 runs already scoring in this inning for the Commodores. Both of them coming in thanks to the RBI double by Kent Schmidt, who stands at second base. And then Harrison at first after that 4-pitch walk. So Shabbat going to stay on. Faces the 5th batter of this inning, in Justin Osterhaus. Plenty of smiles on the Commodores' faces tonight, for good reason. The 10 runs, the most in, as you said, what feels like a decade, definitely does. Doing so on 9 hits. Hard swing and a miss by Osterhaus. He looked like he wanted to end that game right now.
Yep.
Which is not possible, but still wanted to put it out of reach. Fouls it back quickly, down 0-2.
Commodores without a run rule victory this season. Not been run ruled either, though. They've had their 2 worst losses come by 9 runs, with the run rule being at 10. But here at Gov Fuller Field, we haven't seen a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th, or obviously a run rule walk-off. Maybe some time for that here, with 3 innings to play.
Do you consider, say the Commodores get to that 10 mark in the bottom of the 7th, is that considered a walk-off?
So I wouldn't, when you ask how many times how many walk-offs they have in a year, I wouldn't consider
Our
it.
PA announcer Will Rosen says yes, that is a walk-off.
You could say that, you could say walks it off in the 7th inning or later, but you know what I'm saying, where it could say walks it off as a way to say it.
Does technically end the game,
but I wouldn't say that the Commodores have a walk-off. Is just misleading.
Correct.
Objective journals.
It's just more so the mercy rule comes into effect after the run scores, as Osterhaus goes down on the strikeout for the first out of the 6th.
Took a while to get there for Shabbat. As the first 4 batters, top 4 in this order as well for the Commodores, all reached. First 2 score, Mike Anu and Antonio Morales.
Commodores continue to have a fun day. This guy Lopez also having a good time as well with a pair of walks. He has scored all 3 times. Nubs it foul off the end of the bat.
And this is the game this is the part of Adrian Lopez's game that can sometimes get so overlooked, but now give him 14 walks on the year. That patience has really paid off for Lopez. We've seen it. And both times he's walked, as he's scored, and scored on a fielder's choice too. He's got 3 runs in this game.
Hard cut and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. We do have a final alert from Katuitt. Kettleers closing up shop to make it an 8-3 victory over the Mariners. So with that victory, Katuit goes to 33 points, third in the division. Hyannis, of course, this result not finished, remaining at 32. Lopez taps one into right field. That one's through for a base hit. Adrian Lopez continues to be an on-base machine in this one. Has reached all 4 times as well. And the Commodores have them loaded.
And I want to say, even with this 9-run lead and a 10th hit for the Commodores, I believe this will be the first time Falmouth has the bases loaded today. Back.
I think so. Well, here is the hottest guy in this ball game in Reese Maroney. 3 for 3, 4 RBIs. And what a performance this has been for the rising junior from Rhode Island. He just had 1 hit in his first 3 games on Cape Cod with 1 RBI. That came in his debut on Tuesday against Bourne. Got his first hit on Cape Cod on Sunday in that 8-1 loss to Orleans. But the way he has elevated this game, his game, especially this past spring at URI, going from 5 extra base hits to 17, batting average increased by about 100 points. Maroney skies it into right field. Looks like this could be deep enough to score Schmidt. Catch made by Black. Kent tags from third, scores. It is a 10-run Falmouth lead. And the 5th RBI of the night for Reese Maroney. Who deserves some well-earned high fives for those 5 ribbies.
Love what you did there. And I love what Maroney did by poking it into right field. Who came in with 1 run batted in through his first 3 games on Cape Cod. And in Game 4, adds 5 to get his total up to 6. It's one of those games for the Commodores, and you look at the scoreboard. They don't get here without Reese Maroney. Don't know if you say that or could predict that coming into this game.
I was not. Rumba up the middle, down for another. Base hit. Harrison in to score. Lopez gets the wave from third as well. A little bit of insurance on the potential mercy for the Commodores. And oh boy, it is a dozen on the lead for Falmouth, 13-1.
When it rains, it pours. Again, the hitting is contagious for Falmouth. And finally, it's going around for the Commodores. Caden Brumbaugh gets a piece of it, making 8 of the 9 Commodores in the lineup now with a hit. It's just the lone Chris Newstrom, who's without at least a single yet, and Newstrom's now up to bat following this pitching change for Hyannis.
The day is done for Henry Shabbat, and we will take a short break here on Cape League TV. Brumbaugh the runner on first, 2 gone. Commodores 13, Harbor Hawks 1.
Introducing Open Cape, the local nonprofit internet service provider in this region. Open Cape's fast and reliable network is 100% fiber optic, providing affordable internet connectivity. To learn more, visit opencape.org and always speak with a live Open Cape representative. Open Cape, providing choice and competition for your home or business and the official internet provider of your Falmouth Commodores.
We are Open Cape.
Hi, my name is Matt Burgess, General Manager here at Falmouth Country Club. We have a unique 27-hole public golf course with a beautiful layout that is family-oriented. Kids play free here at Falmouth Country Club. Getting on the course is quick and easy with our app. You can book tee times, get yardages with GPS, use our interactive scorecard, track your stats, and receive exclusive in-app offers. Falmouth Country Club is a true Cape Cod classic and a local family favorite.
See you on the course.
Hi, I'm Justin Osterhaus from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'd like to give a special shout out to my parents and my brother, Becky and JD Osterhaus and Brady Osterhaus.
It has been a hit parade for the Commodores in this one. 13
Rico guy in Oliveira.
Chris Newstrom is the breaking ball just a little bit. Breaking ball just a little bit high. Newstrom with a nice combination of colors. He's got pink arm sleeve on the right side, Tennessee orange leg guard as well. Pink arm sleeve on the right side, Tennessee orange leg guard as well. Pink and orange. What colors do you think that those two combinations make?
A weird purple? Maybe? I think we talk about Chris Newstrom's color scheme almost every day, it's so eye-catching, especially with the pink near the knob of the bat.
Peach, what we were looking for.
Okay.
Pretty close.
Salmon almost, maybe?
Newstrom flip on after the nice play by Schaffner to end the inning. Commodores 5 across, though, in the bottom of the 6th. Just need 3 outs to pick up a victory in the top of the 7th. Can the Commodores close things out on a mercy?
Cape League TV. Cape League TV.
Commodores just 3 outs away from getting a victory, as long as they don't allow more than 2 runs. Plenty to dance about at Homer's Dance Party. Offense has come plentiful in this ball game for Falmouth. Everett Garber back on the mound for the Commodores. He'll face a pinch hitter to get things going. In the top of the 7th, it's Dalton LaChance. Rising junior from Oklahoma leads things off in the 7th. The Canadian from Quebec, just in his 9th game on Cape Cod, batting .206. Transfers out of McClanahan Community College. Another guy that will join Oklahoma out of the portal. Feels like that's a whole lot of guys that are going to Norman. He was the catcher last night, going 0 for 5. He was the final hitter in last night's ball game, where bottom of the 10th, tie game, there was 2 outs, bases loaded for Hyannis. 1 run scores, they walk it off. He goes down via the strikeout.
It's that backyard situation everyone dreams about.
You a big wiffle ball guy growing up? Yeah,
of course.
It's funny, growing up, me and my friends used to have a tournament for each of our birthdays in each other's backyards of a wiffle ball tournament. We did so for like 4 or 5 years. It was tons of fun.
Sounds like fun.
It was. Swing and a miss. Garber pumps the fastball by him at 89 miles per hour. For out number 1.
I wouldn't want to try to hit a wiffle ball off of Everett Garber, though. He's looked good so far, and
Charlie Bates, the last chance for the Harbor Hawks.
Again, a 6-game losing streak for the Commodores, but Andrew, one of the things that sticks out to me most about that losing streak, the first 4 games were all decided by 4 or fewer runs. The pitching kept the Commodores in it, and now you're exactly by 4 or fewer runs. The pitching kept the Commodores in it, and now you're exactly right. You get to save some of those arms before they come up again in the bullpen rotation.
Well, this lead is a lot bigger than 4 runs, I'd say. It's a dozen for the Commodores.
It's possible for Hyannis, but I don't think probable that they'll come back into this one.
No, I would agree with that one, my friend. Two balls, 1 strike to Charlie Bates. A walk back in the 5th, which that part of the ball game feels like forever ago. Commodores put 3 in the 2nd, 4 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th, 5 in the 6th. Hard swing and a miss by Bates. Commodores, 1 strike away.
I love, Andrew, how every Commodore player at the edge of the dugout right now, excited to celebrate a win for the first time in over a week.
34. That was after a tremendous JUCO season. Originally committed to Iowa out of high school. He's also headed to Oklahoma out of the portal. Got a lot of future Sooner teammates in this ball game.
And I got to know Jackson Willits during his time with Hyannis, whose father, Reggie, is the associate head coach there in Norman.
Correct. Jackson will be back for another season with Oklahoma. Brother thought he was going to join there, but when you go number 1 at 17 years old, it's kind of hard to pass up that money.
He was one of those draft prospects that you know is going top 5 regardless, so committed to Oklahoma. Never really think he's going to get there to Norman, but
3 balls, 2 strikes from Garber, who's still just 1 pitch away from ending things. Commodores back home tomorrow night against the Chatham Anglers for the 4th and final time. Chatham on thin ice in the east. We're up pretty close in Stoneham.
one of those classic towns that when you ask Cape League players or anything, pronounce Massachusetts' name, I think you're going to get Stoneham about 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, it's like your Peabodys and your Gloucesters. See, I can't even pronounce it wrong because I've just been saying it my whole life. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Chattel. Garber has had 2 strikes against the last 2 hitters, but has failed to put them away. Can he do it here on the 1-2 to Chattel? Here it is. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A 2-2 from Garber. A called strike 3, and that does it. And for the first time since July 21st, the Falmouth Commodores are victorious. Falmouth breaks a 6-game losing streak thanks to a 13-1 punishing of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and they do so after 7 innings. And just kind of feels like a field get-right game for the Commodores in this one.
I think that's the only 2 words you can use to describe it, Andrew. Get-right game in which you allow 2 hits, of course, 1 coming when this game is already a 12-run lead for Falmouth. 1 run on 2 hits for the Harbor Hawks. It's not like Hyannis really shot themselves in the foot too much, just 2 errors that I don't think really impacted this game. But the 13 runs, how about the 4 scoreless innings that you see from Jeremy Urena? This was a complete game, and for Falmouth, and I hope that this can now carry into the final 4 games of the season, while also getting some help from some West Division foes.
Kind of feels like the last 2 times the Commodores have played a complete game, they've ended up in victories. It was before this losing streak against Harwich. Played probably some of their best baseball this season in that 5-2 victory. Then you jump in front from the get-go, no looking back. Jeremy Urena was phenomenal. How about Reese Maroney as well with 5 RBIs? Just an all-around effort from this team to keep their chances alive as we go to the final stretch.
Yeah, this was, again, I don't know if it's too little too late just yet.
Yeah.
You're going to need some help, and especially with Katuitt pick up the win today, you're still 4 points out from the Kettleers in terms of getting into the top 4, a spot that Falmouth couldn't get to last year when they missed the 2024 Cape League playoffs. Same format here. Falmouth still chasing, and we'll keep bringing up that standings graphic, but this is one where you got to step back, and after 6 losses before, to run rule Hyannis, a team that's clearly in the playoff picture, it feels good. Hopefully it can get carried over if you're a Falmouth fan.
Yeah, that's important. Let's reiterate that playoff picture one more time before we send things down to Ben Haller. Falmouth goes up to 29 points, still in last place in the West Division. Katuitt with tonight's win goes up to 33 points. Hyannis remains at 32. So the Commodores only 3 points back now in the playoff spot, but I think the big looming thing as well, Harbor Hawks still have that head-to-head, so things still get a little bit more tricky down the stretch, but with 4 games left, still feels like anything could happen. And now we will be joined by Ben Haller, the 3rd member of our crew, who is joined by Reese Maroney after a phenomenal day. 5 RBIs for Reese. Ben is joining him field side. Ben, take it away with Reese, who is today's hero of the ball game, I'd say.
Here with Reese Maroney, was one of the many heroes on the offensive side today. You had a 3-for-3 day. You drove in 5. What was working for you?
I was working with Salty just before the game, staying on top of the ball. So that was definitely helpful, and just seeing guys finally start to get out of kind of that rut that we had through that 6 games, and then just easy to go from there.
When you're this late into a season and you're one of the later additions and you're joining a team that's kind of in that rut and you personally aren't getting a lot of playing time, how nice is it to have an 11-year pro like Jared Saltalamacchia to help you offensively?
It's definitely helpful. Just kind of getting through like the dog days of summer and just working through that mental stuff. It's definitely helpful.
You're joining the team at a very crucial time. You just snapped a 6-game losing streak. Now 3 games back of Hyannis with just 4 games left to go. Where's this team's mindset at right now? Try to close the season out and make a late playoff push.
Right now we're just trying to take it one by one. Just stringing together at-bats and win every inning by each one.
And last question here, how fun is it to watch one of your teammates last year at Rhode Island and Jeremy Urania give you that start, give your offense a lot of confidence, go at 4 scoreless?
It's a pretty good feeling, just being able to play with him one last time, so it's definitely fun to watch.
Thank you, Reese.
Yep.
Back to you guys.
Makes it a little bit bittersweet. Maroney and Urena playing together for one last time before Urena heads off to FIU, but I think the important note that Maroney talked about was that mindset at the plate. And of course, you learn from Jared Saltalamacchia, who's been doing this for a long time. And I also like his answer about taking this at bat by bat, inning by inning. You can't worry about Sunday, that regular season finale, if you don't take care of today in this bowl.
Exactly. That Sunday game against Cavaliers is fully meaningless if the Commodores can't pick up not only this run-rule win against Hyannis, but a few more when you host Chatham tomorrow before you go to Bourne and Wareham on Friday and Saturday before that home game on Sunday against Katuitt. So I think it's one game at a time. That's exactly how you have to do it. Now you're hosting a Chatham team that, as of right now, up 7-0 over a good Brewster Whitecaps team in the bottom of the 4th have veterans right now. So that could be a Chatham team that's also missing the playoff picture if the standings ended today, but they could be coming hot after a rare win, just as the Commodores would be doing 24 hours from now.
Seems like we'll see some hot offenses tomorrow back here at the Gov. That'll be a 6 o'clock start between the Commodores and the Anglers. Pregame